Here's everything you might have missed in the She-Hulk finale. Welcome back, you Marvel Maniacs, to our weekly breakdown of She-Hulk. The She-Hulk finale confirmed major theories and tore the fourth wall a new one in equal measure. We're gonna break it all down for you in just a moment, but to do so, we will have to spoil what happens. So if you haven't seen the She-Hulk finale yet, leave now before you get angry.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
As Dan would say, let's get into it, shall we? The episode began with a pitch-perfect parody of the 1978 Incredible Hulk TV series opening, right down to using the same song. This version is called the Savage She-Hulk, an homage to her very first comic series. This is actually the perfect homage to SheHulk's origins. As we have explained previously, She-Hulk was created in 1980, which was at the height of the popularity for the Incredible Hulk TV show. Kenneth Johnson, the show's producer, also successfully spun off the Bionic Woman from the $6 Million Man. Worried that Johnson would create a similar female spin-off for the Hulk, Stan Lee, John Buscema, and Marvel scrambled to create She-Hulk first in order to protect their copyrights. And thus, the smasher of fourth walls, bad endings, and Matt Murdock was born.
It's so dumb. I can't even exist without being a derivative of the Hulk.
That's a pretty dumb name, too.
After hulking out when Intelligentsia released revenge porn of Jen at the gala, Jen now finds herself trapped in the same prison cell that once housed Emil Blonsky at Damage Control's Supermax prison. Based on how easy it was for the clandestine to break out of on Ms. Marvel and Wong to teleport into over the course of this show, Damage Control might want to beef up security. Mallory confirms exactly what Bruce warned Jen about back in episode 1.
When people start seeing you as a monster that never goes away.
Much like Blonsky, Jen cops a plea deal that revolves around her wearing an inhibitor that prevents her from ever turning into She-Hulk again. Once again, we see the news networks KPVK and KZYO, who we previously saw reporting on Ant-Man going full Giant Man in the San Francisco Bay in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Later in Jen's childhood bedroom, we see two of her biggest cinematic inspirations, Legally Blonde and Aaron Brockovich. We also see just how deep the Intelligentsia network goes thanks to Jen's elaborate Pepe Sylvia conspiracy board. One symbol that stands out is what appears to be the face of a mandrill. There is a Marvel villain known as Mandrill, a mutant who can mind control women via pheromones, like a real creep. While this isn't necessarily a direct reference, it's an odd coincidence nonetheless. Sadly, we don't get any Madison this episode.
Which honestly is so dramatic, and I hate drama.
But we do see local dipshit Dennis Bukowski, who is appearing on the Fox News-esque The Conversation to defame Jen, claim they dated, and blame her grandmother for some reason. Leave Mildred Banner alone. After breaking the fourth wall to shush the Incredible Hulk narrator, Jen tries texting Smug Hulk, the sarcastic nickname she gave her cousin after he styled himself Smart Hulk.
Smug Hulk.
Smart Hulk.
Well, it's pretty smug to call yourself smart.
I didn't come up with it.
In Jen's phone, we see a number of familiar names and faces. Many of them are her matcher dates, who are real people who worked on the show. Darby is VFX artist Darby Facinto. Jordan is VFX editor Jordan Kirshner. Noah was the director she went out with. Antoine is Antoine Brackett, who also worked in VFX. Grant is Grant Ing, the visual production TD. Scott is VFX associate producer Scott McFate. Barbara is senior compositing artist Barbara Valenti. And Truck is Truck Torrance, aka the artist 100% Soft, who designed the Marvel Studios emojis and the Hulk King logo. Best of all are the entries for Grant and Rick, which feature an elaborate Rick roll. You can see lyrics from Rick Astley's classic Never Gonna Give You Up, A Full Commitment's What I'm Thinking Of, You Wouldn't Get This From Any Other Guy, and I Just Want to Tell You How I See It. Does this mean that Rick is actually Rick Astley? Only time will tell. After finagling an invite into the Intelligentsia event, we see that it's conveniently at Emil Blonsky's Summer Twilights retreat. These mouth-breathing chuds loudly complain about female superheroes like She-Hulk and Lady Thor, referencing Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor in the comics and Love and Thunder. As it turns out, Todd Phelps is the apparent mastermind behind it all.
Todd Phelps?
Todd? Oh wait, that tracks.
So congratulations to everyone who called it from the get-go. We didn't want to believe that Todd would be the big bad, but we got reverse Ralph Bonered in this instance.
Ralph Boner?
Boner.
Bonered! While their leader, Todd Phelps, is clearly extremely wealthy, I am still holding out hope that we see the actual comic book accurate version of the Intelligentsia down the line. Perhaps the leader is involved in one of these shell companies that owns Intelligentsia, and we'll learn more about his connection to them in Captain America New World Order. Emil Blonsky has also been lying to Jen, it seems. He has been taking off his inhibitor and transforming into Abomination for speaking engagements. From there, all hell breaks loose as sloppily written plotlines come to a head, with Todd using Jen's stolen blood to Hulk out, Bruce returning to Earth to mistakenly fight Abomination, and Titania Kool-Aid manning her way into the room.
God, does that bitch ever use a door?
Unhappy with the confusing direction her own story is taking, Jen does her most comics-accurate thing yet and breaks the fourth wall wide open.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She escapes from her own show into the real world by leaping across the Disney Plus menu into an episode of Marvel Assembled being filmed at Disney Studio Lot in sunny, miserable Burbank. It's literally right over there. This is something that She-Hulk has done countless times in the comics, breaking through pages, escaping across the letters page, and even haranguing her writers and editors when she doesn't like the direction of the story. And that's exactly what she does here.
Hey, is everything okay?
What the hell, you guys?
Outside the She-Hulk production office, we see a Captain America I Want You poster. But instead of war bonds, it's reminding you to keep sensitive material to yourself. There's also your old friend a QR code leading to a free copy of 1993's sensational She-Hulk number 50. This is an issue full of fourth wall breaks where She-Hulk visits Marvel Comics to select a new creative team as John Byrne has seemingly died. Here, She-Hulk takes the show's writers to task as she bursts into the writer's room, which is full of the show's actual writing staff in uncredited cameos. More importantly, we have some questions about inside jokes written on the whiteboard like gamma goo, slop it in, and there's something attractive about a man's knees. Is there really? As a man with knees, I disagree. Eventually, She-Hulk makes her way through Marvel Studios to confront K.E.V.I.N, whom she believes is going to be Kevin Feige. Instead, it's a hyper-intelligent sentient AI known as K.E.V.I.N, or the Knowledge Enhanced Visual Interconnectivity Nexus, if you nasty. It's basically the AI version of the architect from The Matrix with the MCU unfolding on TV screens in the background.
Please.
Delightfully, the AI's camera even resembles the signature baseball hats for which Kevin Feige is known. K.E.V.I.N makes a joke about how it's very expensive to render Jen as She-Hulk, and the VFX team has moved on to another project. We then hear Ludwig Göransson's Black Panther theme, letting us know said project is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I mean, someone needs to animate Namor's wing feet. Hopefully, though, they will do so under better conditions that have been recently reported. There's more fun, self-referential humor with Kevin acknowledging the ongoing debate around the best Marvel movies.
Some are better than others, but I leave that debate up to the internet.
Jen calls out how the blood plot is awfully close to Super Soldier Serum, which also played into 2008's Incredible Hulk. What's next, radioactive soda?
Wow.
Oh, wait. K.E.V.I.N hints that we're going to learn exactly what Hulk was up to in a movie at some point.
But we were going to introduce...
Save it for the movie.
Rather than a confirmation, this seems like a fun nod to rumors of a Planet Hulk or World War Hulk movie happening at some point down the line. As for Hulk himself, as we see later on, he was indeed on the planet Sakaar, and he brought back his son Scar with him, played by Will Dusner. Clearly, a lack of a father figure has taken a toll on this youngster based on his terrible haircut. In the comics, Hulk wound up on the planet Sakaar after the Illuminati blasted him into space because he was too big of a threat to keep on Earth. Hulk fought in gladiatorial death matches a la Thor Ragnarok and eventually conquered the planet. Much like Jen and Matt Murdock, Hulk smashed, and he fathered two sons, Scar and Hero Kala. While I doubt we'll see Hero Kala, Hulk made like Korg and got his rocks off while trapped on Sakaar for 2 years.
I smashed you.
Yeah, sure.
We get some other fun nods about how the MCU has historically been lacking in the sexy times department.
A woman has needs.
Historically, we've been light in that department.
And then Jen, thankfully, does the Lord's work by asking about the X-Men.
Oh, and when are we getting the X-Men?
I cannot tell you that.
It looks like we'll have to wait until Deadpool 3 to get our first taste. More realistically, we won't get the full-on X-Men until Secret Wars at the earliest. Having rewritten her own ending, Jen warps back to Blonsky's ranch in the middle of the day, where she gets to take down Todd on her own terms, wrap things up with Blonsky, and even see Daredevil again. Thankfully, this is just the beginning for fans of Old Hornhead, as we have the Echo series and Daredevil Born Again to look forward to. During the end credits, we see Kevin reading a copy of the Savage She-Hulk #1 to learn about his latest creation. Then we finally get another post-credits scene with Wong breaking Blonsky out of jail to come chill at Kamartage. The bigger question is, what show will they binge-watch together with Madison?
You got sucked into another show, didn't you?
We're really in an era of peak TV.
Anyway, folks, there you have it. That's everything we spotted in the She-Hulk finale. We'll have plenty of other Marvel deep dives for you in the days ahead, but for now, tell us, what did you think of the episode? Did you spot anything that we missed?
All right, let's see here. No.
Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.